Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be the same kind of video that my last one was, where I'm going to go through all of the trades that I took in a full 5-day trading week from August 23rd to August 27th. So I think that this is a good video because it kind of shows more of the realities of trading, where not every week is going to have a bunch of amazing setups, and on those weeks, if you keep taking a lot of trades, you're going to end up losing money because there aren't enough good setups, where if you take a lot of trades, that enough trades are going to work out where your winners are going to outweigh your losers. So you really have to be disciplined on these weeks, not overtrade, but then still be ready to catch your trades when they present. Okay, so my first trade of the week was on Monday the 23rd, and I took a 930 Square trade. So at open, I was watching Square, Coin, and Nvidia, but my favorite setup was Square because last week's high was 267.38, and pre-market high, which was made at 9:30, was 267.5. So I thought over 267.5 we had room to 270, and even if you look at the one-day chart, it looked like there was room to 280, but there was obviously going to be some resistance at 275. So the 930 high is 268.05. So over 268 on the ask, I'm going to get in 8 270 cons. And right there we get over, and I get in right away. I get filled 8 contracts at 450. And right away, my contracts are in the money. So this is a good sign. This gives me some room to play with so I don't have to panic. And now we're just waiting for the bids to get into 268. So right here, the bids get into 268, and my contracts are up kind of nicely. So I just cut one there just to lock in profits. And now I want to see if we can get to 269. Right here, the contracts are up pretty nice. And we're right below 269, and I sell one right there. Then we get over 269. I'm waiting for the bids to get over 269, and I sell one there. That's a good sell. Now we're kind of dropping 269 on the ask. Let's see if we can hold it here. We really need the bids to get into 269. And we drop it there, and I sell one. That's a fine sell. I still have half of my position left. So now I have 3 contracts left, and I'm looking for 268 to hold. But there might be resistance at 269. You can see it on the chart there, but we're looking to get a play over 269 and hopefully get to 270 and maybe through it. So right here we get the bids into 269, and now we're just looking to get to 270. Right here we're at 270, but there's some resistance there. There might be a big wall there, so I sell one there. We can still break it, but that was a smart sell because you might reject those big whole numbers. Now I still have 2 contracts left. They're up really nice, and now we're in the 270 area, and I'm looking for a hold of 270, and then I can scale out once that we get maybe to 271, 272. I just have to wait and see. And right here, 271 is kind of acting as resistance a little bit. And right there, we close the 933 candle. And let's see if we can get over 271. We kind of dropped out on the ask a little bit, and the bids got back to 270. So I sold out of one there, a good sell. And now I'm just looking for 270 to hold. It might drop a little bit on the bids, but if that gets bought up pretty quickly, then you know that buyers are still there at 270. Alright, so you can see that the 934 and 935 candles held 270. They dipped below 270 briefly, but that didn't shake me out because I understood big picture that 270 might be a level that could be held, and buyers were clearly in control. So right here, we're over 272, and we kind of reject 272.5, and I just cut that last contract. I'm up really nice on the play, and I was just happy with cutting it there, especially because I'd caught basically 5 points. So 5 points in less than 10 minutes is a lot. There's not much more room for it to go up. I mean, maybe if there's news or something, but there wasn't in this case. Alright, so the next trade that I took on Monday was Coin. at 951, and I like this setup because last week's high was 265.43 and high of day today was 265.46. So I thought over 65.46 we had room to 270, and right there I got in. And now I'm just looking for the ask to get over 265.5, but it looks like there's resistance at 265.4. I cut one there just to minimize my losses. And I'd really like the bids to get back into 265 and the ask to get back up to the 265.4 area. So I cut 2 right there. I'm not liking it too much, and I just cut another 2. Although we kind of crawled back, I was fine just getting out of the trades because if the bids and the ask dropped out on coin, your contracts can drop out really quick. And especially there's 20 to 30 cent spreads right now. So if I hold this even longer and then that happens, this could become like a $200 loser, and that's not what I want after having a nice trade off open. Alright, so my first trade from Tuesday the 24th was a 930 Tesla trade. And there wasn't anything really too special about this play, it wasn't a great setup, but it was just a classic 930 orb trade, and the 930 high was just below 711, so over 711 on the ask was going to be my entry, and right there we get over, I get in right away. We pop over, bids are not getting over. They're trying to, but they're not getting to 711. And the ask kind of drops out, and I start selling. And I sell all 8 contracts really quick. And I'm able to get out of them before the ask drops 711. And that helped me basically get out of this trade break even, which is really good. I'm happy because my winners are way bigger than that. So if I can keep the 930 trades that don't work near break even, then I'll be on a really good path. So my second and last trade from Tuesday was a Tesla high of daybreak over 714, and pre-market high was 714.57, and 10:06 made a high of day at 714. So right there we get over 714 on the ask, and I get in right away. We break over pre-market high, and now I want to see if we can break 715. I cut one right below 715 to lock profits. I cut another because 715 might be resistance, and now I want us to get over. We get over there, but then we drop on the ask like 50 cents, so I really didn't like that, so I cut one, and then now I'm going to see if this last one can get a play over 715. I'm not liking the way this is moving, but I want to give it the chance to play out, and then if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. So we're about to close the 10:09 candle, and we closed below 715. Now I just want to see what happens here, see if the bids can hold, and the ask right there gets below 714.5, and I cut it and I was fine. I wasn't red on any of the contracts, but I got stopped out on the last one. Alright, so my first trade from Wednesday the 25th was Airbnb over 160. And I was watching Amazon at open, but I also had Airbnb and a few others on watch. And Airbnb was pushing. It opened at 158.5, got down to 158, and then ripped up to 160. And I pull it up right here, and we're at 159.9, and pre-market high is 159.85. And there's no entry here. I need to wait for a pullback. This goes completely against my trading. And I get in right there after we had already broken over 159.9, knowing that there would be some size on the ask at 160 and a decent amount of sellers. So right there, I just start selling. I sell out of 3. I should sell out right now, but I'm kind of holding on to hope. I sell out 3 more, and then I just completely cut out. And this really wasn't a good trade at all. This is a trade that I need to not take. But when you have a lot of good setups that you're watching at open and you don't catch any of them, what I did was I pulled this back up, and I was so jumpy. I wanted to get into a trade. I wanted to take a trade because it seemed like there were a lot of good setups, but I just need to take a step back, not get too excited, and then not take this trade or wait for a pullback and then take it, because this is a really late entry and this isn't how I trade. Alright, so the next trade that I took was the same Airbnb trade that I took at 9:30, but I had now just waited for 2 pullback candles, and I was taking this over 159.8, but I had a little bit of a late entry, and I was hoping to get a play over 160. So right here, we're pushing. We get to 159.8. And right there, I get in over 159.9. I get filled 10 contracts at 250. We pop over 160. That's a good sign. That's what I want to see. But we're not pushing right away, and bids are not getting into 160. I don't like that at all. So I only sold out of 2. I sell out of another 5 there to keep my losses small. Now I have 3 left. I'm not really looking for much on this play, and I cut 1 there. I'm not liking this much at all. It seems like there's a decent amount, a good amount of resistance at 160. I sell another. And now I just have my last con left. And I'm just going to sell out of this one and be done with the trade. So this was a good trade to take. I really didn't lose much at all on this trade. It had a good amount of upside potential. I liked it. But it just didn't work out. And that's how some trades happen. Alright, so my last trade on Wednesday was a Moderna trade over 413. And I like this a lot because last week's high was 413.3. 950 made a high of day at 413.2, and 955 touched 413. So over 413, I like this. And on the daily, we had room over 415. So the only thing I didn't like about this play was that we were already up 20 points from open. But still, when I see 413 on the ask, I'm going to get in. And right there, I get in 5 contracts. I don't have a great fill price, so this doesn't give me much room to play with. And my contracts are down, you can see. But I'm not panicking because we're still holding 413, and I'd like to get us into 414. But the bids drop 413 there. I sell 1, sell 2 more. I'm not liking this. Then the ask drops, and I just sell all 3, or the last 2. So I like this play a lot. But it's a play that didn't work out, and I just cut it quick. So although we got back into 413, once that the bid dropped and then the ask dropped to 413, I have to get out because my entry is my stop loss when I take high of day breakouts. Alright, so I didn't take any trades on Thursday the 26th, and then on Friday I didn't take a 930 trade. So on 0DTE Fridays, I like to take 930 trades because even if you don't have as big of a mover, you can still have a really nice winner, a really big winner. But obviously, if there's not a great setup, I'm not going to take any plays. So I didn't take any 930 trades, but then Tesla was setting up on an intraday setup where pre-market high was 706.92. 930 made a high at 706.76. And then that 933 candle had a high at 706.18. So over 706 was going to be my entry on 10 contracts. Right there I get in. I get a good fill price. And you're going to see here, I almost get stopped out really quick. The bids drop 706, and I sell 5 really quick, but we get bought back up. So I don't panic sell and sell the rest of them, but I cut out because that's just following my rules. So I sell 1 there because I'm up a little bit. Now let's see if we can get into 708. Still have 4 contracts. Now the contracts are up pretty nice. We get over 708. I sell 1. And the bids get over 708. This is a good sign. I want to get a play into 709 and maybe 710. Bids drop. The ask drops. I sell 1, sell another. And then the contracts are starting to drop, and I completely cut out. So even though I had sold those first 5 contracts to cut my losses, to minimize losses, I still was able to come out of this trade green because I had the right idea. And then once that we got bought back up at 706, I stayed in the last 5 contracts. So I'm very happy with this trade, with just how I managed this trade. And it was a good start to the day. Even though it wasn't a big winner, it was still a good trade. Alright, so the next trade I took was another Tesla trade, and I was taking this over 706.55 because as you can see, we're creating a nice flag there. And I know that it's not a high of daybreak and it's not an amazing eye-popping setup, but it can get over 707 on this break and then get to high of day and maybe get to 710. So over 706.55 I get in right there. I get filled 8 contracts, had a decent fill price. Then now I want the bids to get over 706.5, but the ask dropped 706.5, and I cut 4 and then cut another 4, and I was completely out of the trade. This was a super small red trade, basically break even, and that just goes to show if you can cut your losers really quick and then maximize your winners. There's a big discrepancy between your winners and losers, and then it makes sense to take trades like this because I'm not taking on much risk, but this has way more upside potential. Alright, so my third trade on the day was the same Tesla trade, and I know that I had taken this already and gotten stopped out, but this is a setup that I can really take again and again because my risk is super low and my upside is way more than my risk. So again, I'm taking this over 706.6 and I've sized down to 5 contracts. So right there I get in, I get fill, I have a decent fill. Now I just want to see these push. We get over 707 and I like that a lot. Now I want to see bids get into 707. I cut one there just because we might reject at 707. I locked in a little bit of profits. And then we drop 707 on the ask and I cut one, but I still hold 3 because I looked up at the charts and I saw that that 10 o'clock candle had a nice strong close over 707. So that looks really good, and I know we're hovering right here, but I don't want to get shaken out, especially because my cons are up and I have a little bit of wiggle room. So I feel like this could go, but it might need like 30 seconds to 2 minutes of just hovering of consolidation above the level, and then it might push. I cut one there. Contracts are up decently. Now I really want to see us get into 708. That's not a good sign. I cut one there. And we're holding 707. But then we drop 707 on the ask, and I have to get out. That's part of my rules. Alright, so my last trade on the day was NVIDIA over 224.6, and I like this setup because 931 broke over previous all-time high of 224.7, and then we had made a high of day at 225.73, but there were only wicks over 224.8, and then 224.6 was touched a couple of times, so over that I was going to get in 10 contracts. And right there I get in 10 contracts. I really didn't have a great fill, but we're holding 224.5, and that's going to be my stop loss for all my contracts. But if we hold that, then we can still get a push over my entry. And right there I cut 5. I don't really like that sell, but I don't know, you don't always make the best trades, or you don't always make the best decisions. So I just cut 5 there just because I was a little worried. I didn't like taking those off, seeing afterwards, but in the moment I did. So right here we're over my entry. We get over 224.8. We close the 1013 candle, and I sell one there to lock in profits. We might have resistance at 225. Sell another there to lock in profits. I have 3 contracts left, only 30% of my position. The contracts are up a little bit. Right there, I just cut another. I wasn't liking this. We were getting back towards entry, but I was going to cut these last 2 contracts once that we got below my entry. And right here, we're just right below 225. Let's see if we can break 225. Decent size on the ask, but we pop over that, and I like that, but this might be a fake out. We might reject. So I just cut one once that we got below 225, and then I had my last contract, and I was hoping to get a 225 hold on this contract. Alright, so now we're a couple minutes by, and we're still holding 225. I like that a lot, but if we get below 225, I'm going to cut these. So right there, the bids drop 225. And then I get out. I get out right before the ask drops 225, and the option contracts the bids dropped out a little bit on them. But I was happy to get out of this trade right there. It was a break-even trade, so a lot of work for a break-even trade. But I cut those first 5 contracts prematurely, and that's just what happens sometimes. So after this trade, I realized I was just done for the day. We're already 50 minutes in. There's not much volume coming in. And I'd already taken 4 trades, and I was green on the day, and I was green on the week. So I just called it after this trade, and I was happy with how I traded on the week. Alright, so I know that this week wasn't too eventful. I didn't take any huge trades this week. I didn't have a huge P&L week, but that's just how some weeks are trading. So I'm actually pretty happy with how I traded this week because there weren't many great opportunities, and as you saw, the bulk of my P&L, basically all my P&L from the week, came from one trade that I took on Monday. So the rest of the trades were small little break even, small winners, small losers. But I'm at the point in my trading where the bulk of my P&L is going to come from a few of my trades. So I don't know if you've read the book, The 80-20 Rule, or you know about the 80-20 rule, but it's just saying that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your actions, or 20% of the things you do. So that's the same with my P&L right now. More than 80% of my P&L comes from less than 20% of my trades. So I know that the rest of the trades that I take are going to be either padding my P&L a little bit, or just trades that I should be taking that I might be getting stopped out on. But I need to be in position to catch those really good plays when they happen. So that Monday trade was kind of like that. And then the rest of the trades were just small winners, small losers. So I took 11 total trades, as you saw. I had 4 winners, 4 losers, and 3 break-even trades. That's a 50% win rate. My average winner was $281.75. My average loser was $89.75. And my P&L for the week after commissions was $592.75. So not a huge week, but still happy to come out green. And my profit factor on the week was 2.78. So I traded well. I kept my losers small. And when there's not too many opportunities, that's just how you kind of have to be, a little bit more on the defensive side. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. Leave a like if you want, and have a good day.